Welcome to Little John's Yarn. Today we'll be making this leaf stitch hat. Yarn was provided by the Kramer Yarn Company. We'll be using Perfections yarn. It's a wonderful yarn. I previously did a review and I'll leave the review link and the store in the description box below. Okay, we'll be using a 5mm crochet hook and of course my favorite Perfections yarn. We'll be using it in 2 different colors. Let's get started into our work. We're going to begin with a magic circle or magic ring. Chain 3. Chain 3 will count as a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. We're going to place 10 more double crochets into the ring. One, two, three, 4. Continue to put the remainder of the 10 double crochets into the ring. I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we have our 10 in plus our chain 3 for a total of 11. We're going to slip stitch to join into the top of the chain 3. Chain 3 counts as a DC. 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the same space. Okay, we're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch. Okay, that's your second double crochet. Next stitch, put 2 double crochets. Okay, there's your second double crochet into the same stitch. We're going to place 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. Okay, we made it back around. We are going to slip stitch to join on the very third stitch of the chain 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, count as a DC. Place 2 DCs in the next stitch. 1, 2, 1 DC in the next, 2 in the next stitch, 1, 2, and 1 in the next, and 2 in the next stitch, 1, 2. We're going to repeat this pattern around 1 DC followed by 2 DC all the way around. I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we made it back around. We are going to slip stitch to join to the top of the chain 3. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet. Double crochet into the next stitch. And 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1, 2. Double crochet in the next stitch. Double crochet in the next stitch. And 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Okay, let's repeat the sequence. 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, place 1 double crochet. In the next stitch, place 2 double crochets. Ready? 1 double crochet. Next stitch, 1 double crochet. Next stitch, 2 double crochets. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. Meet you at the other side. Okay, we made it back around. Let's slip stitch to join at the top of the chain 3. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet. DC in the next stitch. DC in the next stitch. Now place 2 double crochets into the next stitch. First double crochet, second double crochet. Okay, let's repeat. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, place another double crochet into the next stitch, and place 2 into this stitch. First double crochet, second double crochet. We're going to repeat the pattern listed above all the way around, and I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we made it back around. Let's slip stitch to join to the top of the chain 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet, DC into the next stitch, DC into the next stitch, DC into the next stitch. Now place 2 double crochets into the next stitch, 1 and 2. Let's repeat. DC into the next stitch, DC into the next, DC into the next stitch, DC into the next stitch, and 2 DCs into the next. First double crochet, second double crochet. We're going to repeat the pattern above all the way around. I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, we made it back around. Let's slip stitch to join to the top of the chain 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet into the next stitch and in each stitch around. We're going to repeat this pattern for a total of 4 rows. Remember, double crochet in each stitch for a total of 4 rows. I'll meet you at the completion of 4 rows. Okay, we've completed our 4 rows, and this is what it looks like. We are going to slip stitch to join into the top of the chain 3. Okay, chain 3, 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet. We're going to double crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet into the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, make sure it's right, okay, and 7. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 1, and we're going to repeat this process all the way around, but we're going to DC in the last 4. I'll meet you at the last 4. Okay, we made it around. We'll complete our last chain 1, skip 1, and we're going to double crochet in the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's slip stitch to join into the top of the chain 3 stitch. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3 counts as a double crochet. Double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1 in the next stitch, 2. Chain 1, skip 1 space, and skip the space and double crochet into the next. Now we're going to chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, and double crochet into the top of the next double crochet right here. Chain 1, skip a space, and DC into the next. See, we're creating 3 little squares. If you can see them right here, 1, 2, 3. This is the sequence we'll make around. Okay, we'll DC into the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, chain 1, skip a space, DC into the next. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, DC into the next. Chain 1, skip a space, DC into the next 3 spaces. There's your first. Oh, let me show you the 3 blocks that we made. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go back to your 3 DCs. You already did your first DC, second DC, and your third double crochet. We're going to repeat this pattern above all the way around. I'll meet you at the other side. We'll do the last sequence together of this row. Okay, we already completed our 3 double crochets, so we're going to chain 1, skip a space, double crochet into the next. Remember, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, and double crochet into the top of the double crochet. Chain 1, skip a space, and double crochet. You should be left with these are 3 blocks. And place 2 double crochets in, one double crochet into the last stitch. And then we will slip stitch to join to the top of the chain 3. Okay, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Counts as DC and another chain. We're going to skip a stitch and DC into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip a stitch, DC into the top of the next double crochet. Chain 1, skip a stitch, DC into the top of the next double crochet. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space and DC into the top of the next double crochet. And DC into the next 2. We're going to start repeating the pattern above. That is your second DC, third double crochet, chain 1, skip a space, DC into the top of the next DC. Chain 1, skip a space, DC into the next, top of the next DC. Chain 1, skip a space, and we're going to DC into the next next 3 double crochets. That was your first one. You'll notice we're making 3 squares again, like the previous row. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's continue. We already did our first double crochet. Here's your second double crochet and your third double crochet. Chain 1. Skip a space, DC into the next space. Chain 1, skip a space, DC into the top of the next double crochet. Chain 1, skip a space, and DC into the next 3 double crochets. Remember, there's your square. Okay, we already did that first double crochet. Let's do the next 2. 2 and 3. Okay, we're going to repeat the pattern listed above all the way around. I'll meet you at the very last sequence of this row. We'll do it together. Okay, we're at the last sequence. We completed our 3 double crochets. Now we're going to chain 1, skip a space, DC into the top of the next double crochet. Chain 1, skip a space, double crochet into the top of the next double crochet. Chain 1, skip a space, DC into the next double crochet. And we got our square. And we're going to place one last double crochet into the very last stitch. And this is where we're going to change our colors. I cut my yarn. And I'm going to switch out colors. And now you can slip stitch to join to the top of the chain 3. Now we are going to chain 3. Your chain 3 counts as your double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. We are going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. One and 2. What we're going to do now is like a very fancy puff stitch. We're going to work in those little squares that we created right here. We'll work in the perimeter squares. I'll point exactly out. We're going to do this section first, here, 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 then here. We're going to skip these middle sections. So work on the outside. You'll understand once you see. Okay, let's start with our fancy puff stitch. We're going to go in 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now go into the stitch below. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to this bottom row right here. 1, 2, and 3. It's starting to get harder to see our spaces, but we'll go into this space right here. Not this one, but here. Let's do 3. 1, 2, and 3. And let's do our very last space. We'll probably have to pull the yarn to see. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you have a lot of loops on your hook, but we're going to yarn over and pull through all of the loops on the hooks. Be very careful. There you go. Yarn over and pull through to close it off. There you go. And now we'll chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to double crochet into the next 3 stitches. The first double crochet is sometimes hidden by your puff stitch, so be careful when doing your very first double crochet of the sequence. Okay, double crochet your first one, second double crochet, and third. Okay, let's complete our leaf stitch again. We're going to work into these 5 spaces here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just around the perimeter. First chain 2. 1, 2. Let's work into the very first block. 1, 2, 3. Let's move down to the bottom block below it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's move down to the lowest block right here. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I lost my stitch. Okay, let me do that lower block again. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, let's move over to the next block. 1, 2, and 3. And 3 in the last section. Sometimes it's hidden. Be careful. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to yarn over and pull through all these loops. Okay, yarn over and pull through to close off, and chain 2. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to DC into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to repeat this pattern listed above all the way around. Remember, we're going to be working in these 5 stitches here. All the way around. I'll meet you at the other side and we'll work the last stitch in together. We made it around. Now we'll chain 2. 1, 2. Double crochet into the next 2 spaces. 1 and 2. We're going to slip stitch to join to the top of the chain 3 space. And we will chain 1, which does not count as a single crochet. Single crochet into the same space. Single crochet into the next 2 spaces. 1 and 2. Place 2 single crochets into the chain 2 space right here. 1, 2, a single crochet into the loop right here. 1, 2 single crochets into the chain 2 space. 1, 2, single crochet into the next 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 2 single crochets into the chain 2 space. 1, 2 single crochet into the loop, 1, 2 single crochets into the next, 1, 2 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. We're going to single crochet 2 into the next stitch, 1, 2, and single crochet into the loop, 1, 2 single crochet into the chain 2 space, 1, 2. We're going to repeat this sequence above all the way around. Now slip stitch to join into the first single crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2 does not count as a double crochet. Double crochet into the same space. Okay, we are going to double crochet in each stitch around. I'll meet you at the completion of your double crochets. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch to join into the top of the very first double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. We'll be working front post. We're going to go behind the post right here. Stick your hook behind the post. Well, this is called a front post. And through the other side. Yarn over, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through the last 2. That is a front post. I'll show you again. Yarn over, go through this part of the last double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through the last 2. Front post. Okay, watch again. We're going to repeat front post all the way around for a total of 2 rows. I'll meet you at the completion. Alright, we did 2 rows of your front double crochet. We are going to slip stitch to join, and we are going to fasten off our work because we're done with this part of the hat. From here you can leave the hat as is, or you can add a nice little puff on top for a little extra. Right here. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay guys, thank you, and I'll see you on the very next tutorial. Bye.